Hey everyone, welcome to our weekly look at the Forza Racing Championship. My name is Brian Ekberg. I'm the Forza Community Manager, joined by Warren Fish from Gfinity. Warren, how you doing?
Very good, Brian. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It feels great to be together again. We were together in New York for the New York Invitational presented by Porsche. A fantastic event. I know we both had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it was an exceptional way to start off the season. I'm very much looking forward to the next events coming up.
Season 3 is here, but before we get to Season 3, we're going to take a look at last weekend and the New York Invitational presented by Porsche.
Welcome to the Forza Racing Championship. I cannot wait to get the races going. They can never seem to get away from each other. Lightning and Lage.
Down into the first hairpin here. Whoa, that dive by Rossi already, but everyone is super close. But Box is now on the way back to the top, racing against 7.
Can he find it here as he's going to dive into the left, and Venom manages to take that 4th place, just rushing it. Who will advance to the grand finals? My goodness, I cannot believe it. For our second semifinal, Yas Marina.
And that's Chemicals Cards number 14 spinning through a rouge here.
It's about getting to the grand final.
For Lightning to cover up this. Lightning going off the track. Oh, wow. Spin. Whoa. We're seeing Box going off track. Everyone going up.
This is it. Who takes home the cash? He is passing, and he gets right in the first place.
Lightning is all over him right now. One of the hardest tracks on the game.
He oftentimes, and right there, oh my God, I was going to say it.
This will be intense, but I never expect doing the biggest Forza event so far.
It truly it doesn't get any better than this, man.
It's once again Lightning be on top. What is happening this weekend?
At 6:13, it's going to be so close between these two guys.
The pressure is on.
Slightly touching the ribbon, but there's nothing in between them.
Lightning get it. Yes, Lightning, finally, that first place is his, Renee.
What a fantastic event. The Invitational was so fun. It was really amazing to be there with those drivers in that really tense environment.
I think it's definitely exciting to see how the season's coming up. With the new formats in place for an offline event in comparison to previous seasons, it's definitely exciting. Looking forward to the season.
It's great to see those guys side by side racing, and you could feel the tension in the air. It was really fantastic. If you want to see the replays of the Forza Racing Championship New York Invitational, check out our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/Turn10Studios. We've got full race replays from both days you can check out right now. So Season 3 is here. It begins on May 1st, and we've got a lot of new rule changes, a lot of things to talk about. Want to make sure you're caught up with that. The first thing is there's 2 different paths for how to qualify for the grand finals. There's Rivals and Racing. Let's take Rivals first. That's traditional. People have been doing Rivals in ForzaRC seasons in the past, but this time you've got 2 events per week, right?
So going back to Rivals, it's a new platform, new format. All the players are traditionally used to exactly how that all works, but it also creates a different platform for people to qualify.
Yeah, it's traditional to do Rivals in the ForzaRC, but it's not the only way to do it. We've got racing this time. Every Sunday, starting on May 7th, there's going to be racing format, and we heard from the community. They want an option to race as well, so we're giving it to them in Season 3.
Yeah, no, you're very right. I think with the Rival platform, knowing that it's so competitive, if you do qualify in the top list of the leaderboard itself, it won't affect how you can actually take part in the races. So people can have as much fun as possible, but more importantly, it creates several different weeks to qualify.
And here's the important thing about the racing. You have to register and you have to reserve your spot. So depending on what region you're in, you might have those spots might fill up very quick, but there's also a standby list, right?
Yeah, I think it's good for players. With a standby list, it creates an opportunity. So should players or drivers specifically miss out when they check in, it allows players that are actually wanting to get into the race to take part in something. And that's over several weeks, so definitely make sure you look out for that information.
Register, get your name in on the list, and make sure you're standing by with your email in case you get that call, right?
That is right.
All right, so we've got Rivals, we've got racing, we've also got the concept of tournament points this time around for Season 3. How does that work this time?
So, it's a new format. I think, what's really good about the tournament points is it creates a barrier for people to compete over several weeks. Instead of a player just dominating one specific race in comparison to a rival, it's really important for players to kind of compete over several weeks. And, at the end of it, you can view the leaderboard and you can calculate exactly what position you are.
And you're competing in your region. That's also new. We're doing that for fairness' sake, right?
Yeah, it's a level playing field, we should say, is that it allows people to, more importantly, take part in their region, which, obviously makes it fair across the board.
One of the things we take very seriously with the Forza Racing Championship is adjudication, making sure that players are behaving themselves on the track. A lot of things can happen in a race, but that's what Gfinity's here for, right?
Yeah, I think it's really important to let people know exactly how it all works, specifically when it comes down to any advances to drivers around them. So monitoring from a marshal standpoint is very important to the program itself, but more importantly is for a player level field for all these drivers is going back and looking at the actual POVs.
A lot of things can happen on the racetrack with the Forza Racing Championship, and Gfinity's goal is to make every race clean as possible. All right, so that's the Elite Series, a lot of competition happening there, but we've also got the Recreation Series returning for Season 3.
Yeah, I think, it's a new season, but more importantly, we've decided to come up with a platform which is a bit more fun, but also allows drivers to compete along some of the players that will be competing in the races. But it's also a platform to have a bit of fun, but also to improve your skill gap.
Yeah, and of course it's happening in Forza Horizon 3. You also have to register for the Recreation Series, so don't miss out on that. So for everything, for region, for registration, for all of that good stuff, you need to go to ForzaRC.gfinity.net, read all the rules, the handbook's there, lots of stuff to take in, and make sure you're prepared for Season 3. Season 3 is here. The competition begins on May 1st. 2 Rivals events next week, both in 911 turbos. We've got the 1982 911 Turbo S3.3 on Catalunya National, that's on Monday, and then on Thursday we've got the 2014 Turbo S on Hockenheim National. That's the Rivals event. We've also got races coming on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think it's just very important to highlight, this is obviously a new format, a new handbook in place, so make sure that you're keeping up to date with all the information. All races are obviously across different regions, and those regions will be locked at 192 races, but don't forget about the standby list as well.
Yeah, get yourself registered, get yourself on those lists so you can compete, and don't miss the race live on Sunday, May 7th by going to beam.pro/Forza Motorsport. Warren, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.